Hey friends, hope you're having an awesome day. Back when I was younger, I always would make a tea using, yeah, that is rosemary. Got a little age on it, but it'll still work. It's still very potent, it smells very potent. But I used to use a rosemary and sage for my hair. And I've got some sage leaves that I have dried here, if you can see. You can use, you can buy smudged sage in the store. You can buy fresh sage in the store that you could very well use. But, with rosemary is also always, I'm getting, getting my words tangled up there. With rosemary, there's always been this saying that rosemary can help with hair growth. Now, I like rosemary. I've always liked it. As you can see, my hair's pretty long, but my hair is really wild. It's wild. And it looks shorter than it actually is because I had it braided. But, yeah. I'm going to make me a tea because, the rosemary has lots of vitamins in it as well. But they always said it helped your hair grow. I want my hair to keep growing. I mean, that's, yeah. But I had it down past my, if you could see right there. I had it down here, and I had to have my daughter to trim it because it was just, it's like it went from thickness to thin, very, very thin. Now, sage, I always use that in the past for, as far like hair color, to help with hair color, which I have a little bit of gray coming in, and I will color it, so, yeah, don't come at me, but, yeah, I'm not ready to embrace all that yet. Just being honest, that's me. Some people are ready to embrace it, and more power to them. It looks beautiful on them. Everyone is beautiful in their own right. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you're comfortable with. But yeah, that sage also, I've heard also that it can help with hair growth. So yeah, I make a tea out of it. Used to do that back in the day. I used to do it. I was just all the time doing those teas. And for me, it's not a tea bag. I don't just stick a tea bag. I just pour some of this rosemary and put some of these leaves of this sage, maybe mush them up a little bit, put those in a bowl, put some hot water over them, steep them, use it on my hair, and then I repeat. I reuse that because usually I'm using such a large amount of the herb, I just pour some in there. That one steeping does not take away. I'll keep using it. Now, with time, you need to put it in the refrigerator. So you can put it in like a container with a lid if you want to. Possibly if you have like one of the glass containers that have the lid that goes on top of them. But if you don't, you can always transfer it back and forth. I don't like to pour that, if I can help it, pour that hot water in plastic, because I feel like that plastic's probably coming out and getting in, and that's not going to help my hair. But yeah, that's what I'm about to do, is I'm about to make me a tea with these herbs. Okay, now, if you, say you have blonde hair or strawberry blonde, my oldest daughter, she has strawberry blonde hair. So when she was younger, I would make, for my hair, I would do a tea. And I would use some rosemary and some sage for the darkness, and to help it grow and just to give extra vitamins. Now for her hair, I would actually use marigold. So yeah, marigold flowers. And they would put like this beautiful yellow, color. But marigolds, you can use those for certain things. Just like hibiscus can be used for certain things. But yeah, I would use marigold blooms, especially the yellow. But yeah, just some things that I used to do. That's just like calendula. That's another awesome one. You can use those blooms. Calendula is very helpful for the scalp, you know. Pot marigold, it's also called. So yeah. And then there's sunflowers. You know, people discount sunflowers, but the petals from the sunflowers can also, you know, be used. So yeah, it'll be very beneficial for the scalp and, you know, the hair. But that's just, you know, I'm not a physician or herbalist or whatever you call them. I'm not that. So this is just from my own personal journey in life, and you know what I've learned or done myself. So yeah. But this tea is going to be for me and my youngest daughter if she wants to use it, and she has dark hair as well. So we'll be using, now if I had some calendula, I may have some upstairs, but I'm not sure. If I had some, I'd throw some in here. You know, I may see if I do, because that would be very beneficial. You don't have to have blonde hair to use it. It could be very beneficial for the scalp. I may go see what I got upstairs. I may have some, because I've got herbs that I use for tea, and Bath and Body. I used to use calendula a lot in my even my soaps, because why wouldn't you want a beneficial, you know what I'm saying, if it's got some benefit as well as cleansing you. So yeah, I'm gonna go see what I got. I may even have some sunflowers. That's a possibility, because I use them to make tea. I will bring you back. I found some, okay, calendula and sunflowers that I saved. So yeah, and I've got some hibiscus flower, which is also can be beneficial for the hair. And I have a little sprig of dried mint, can be beneficial. So, and like I said, you can get sage and you can get rosemary at your grocery store. So yeah, I'm going to put this in the mortar and pestle, and put a little bit of calendula. Not a whole lot. I am trying to grow some calendula of my own, because, you know, yeah. I mean, who wants to have to buy all of your herbs? I mean, it adds up, you know, after a while. Now, the sunflowers, like I said, I saved those. They have a little bit of age on them, but I'm not worried about it. So. I do want to close those back up nicely. But yeah, you know, do your own research on spices and herbs and such. I'm gonna put some hibiscus in there. If you see, that's what it looks like. It's dried hibiscus. I use that a lot in my Bath and Body products as well. And then let's get us some rosemary. And I like me some rosemary to go on my hair. So, yeah, I do. I will admit it. I think it's beneficial. That's my opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. Everybody's got one. So, put some of that sage in there. Yeah, I dried it in this bag. Sometimes, you know, they dry it really well in just a bag. And I'm going to just kind of, you know, crack it up a little bit, crush it up, whatever, I don't know why I said crush it up a little bit in my mortar and pestle. Oh, I don't want to lose any of that. No. I got me a rosemary growing out there. My son bought me, but it's just taking its time. It's very sluggish and slow. And my sages as well. I used to grow sage and rosemary like crazy back when I was younger. Okay, look at there. I think we got that. And I've got me, you could very well use a jar also, but I'm going to use a bowl. And I've got my water in my kettle heating up. And what I'm going to do, well, I'll bring you right back. Yeah, I feel like if you can help your hair, why not help your hair? You know what I mean? Or at least try to help your hair. I know, like I said, COVID done a number on my hair. When I got COVID, it just started wanting to get thinner, and just, yeah, not so good. But I have got to do my roots of pretty soon. But yeah. Oh my goodness, you know, you can take like walnut hulls and steep those. Okay, my kettle's almost ready. And use that to try to dye your roots, but you have to watch out because sometimes those walnut hulls are full of little white worms. Yeah. So yeah, gotta watch for that. But you know, hair dye may not be the safest thing, but at the same time, if you're not ready to go, you know, you just try to do research and find the one that seems safer in my, you know, that's the way I'm looking at it anyhow. Let's get that kettle, and I just heated it in there. Ouch. I'm just, as you can see, I'm just pouring some on that, and then I'll cover that up. I'll cover that up with a plate, and what I'll do is I'm not sure how often I'll use this, because back when I was younger I used it like all the time, you know, like constant, like every day. I would come in and do my hair. But yeah, that was when I worked where my hair got really covered in dust because I worked in a furniture factory. So yeah, I had to come in and wash it every day, and then I would put my tea on it. But probably gonna let this steep. I'm probably going to, I may use that twice maybe, or maybe not. I may just use it once, because I didn't use as much back when I was younger. I would just pack that bowl, you know, I mean, I would put a lot of herb and then use the water and then reuse it, because I was doing it every day because I had to wash my hair daily. I don't like to wash my hair every day because I feel like it, well, as you can see, look at this frizz. You see this wildness? I wash this every day. It's gonna be crazy. So I prefer not to do that. But yeah, that is one thing that I like to do. Well, two things. Yeah. Haven't done them in a while. So now, as far as oils, I do use some oils on my hair. And I like to make some oil. You know, you make your own oil. I think I got a video on my YouTube of me making a hair oil. But yeah, you can make your own hair oils, and just research your herbs, you know, before you actually make it, to make sure that, you know, that's possibly got the benefits you want. Herbs can also have side effects or effects on the skin or such, so you need to take that into accountability. And possibly, research that as well, because if you're allergic, like say, well, you know how some people are allergic to bees. They should be mindful of anything that has beeswax in it, because there is that possibility of also being allergic to the products that has beeswax. It's not for sure, but there is that possibility. But yeah, that's what I've got for you today. And if you like the content I create, please do consider following it. I would truly appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. And be sure and eat, take your vitamins, and research some herbs. I like herbs. Till next time, friend. Bye.